are there methods in place? We have ways of things that we've talked about that we hope will work, and the rumor mill is one of the best ways to follow up on the room and check them out. I can't tell you that there's nobody sitting in this room that doesn't have a weapon in his or her pocket right now. Again, the society that we live in, people do what they think they want to do. They use bad judgment. But I have no way of knowing or saying to you that nobody in this room right now does not have a weapon in his or her pocket. We didn't put up metal detectors when you came through the door. We didn't do any of that. We trust that you don't have those things in your pocket, and if you do, you don't intend to use them. Now with students, we don't want students, where is the weapon coming from? That's the question. I make this quip all the time, but it's the fact. At school, we don't pass out weapons. We pass out books, paper, and pencils, and lunches, and things like that. So the weapon is coming from somewhere. I am at a point now that I'm going to probably ask someone in the legislature to design a bill that maybe holds some other folks accountable for what a child might do, especially if it's as serious as bringing a weapon to school. Because it is creating issues, not only for parents who are really concerned about their children, but also for me as a superintendent and the people who have to work with your children on a day-to-day basis. And somebody is responsible for the fact that there are weapons somewhere out there, and that some child has the ability to get a hold of that weapon and bring it into the school environment. To bring it to the school environment. Again, we're not giving it to them, but we do have to wrestle with the problem once it occurs. So, who is responsible? If the parent owns the gun, is it my responsibility to take all of the heat on the fact that a kid brought a gun to school? Or is it also partially, at least, the responsibility of the parent who had the gun in a place where the child could get to it in the first place? I think we have to look at it from both sides of the coin, and there's more than one side to it. Were you gonna? That parent.
There was one gun. Why were there two students arrested? Because it could only come in one kid's backpack or one.
I can't talk about that, but there was one weapon.
Why two arrests?
I can't. It's an investigation. I can't comment. But if you touch a weapon, you are considered to be in possession of it to some degree. Whether if you touch one, whether you brought it in the building or not, you touched it, it's concealed. You were at some point in possession of that weapon, and so. You might not be the one who brought it in, but you might be arrested for that. That's kind of how the law works. I'm not an attorney, but that's kind of how it works. Were you going to make a comment, young man?
First question, that's the initial child.
Sir?
That's the child who made the initial threats, who did come and.
Okay. I'll follow up on the rumor. Rumor was that a gun would be brought by a person. So that was never any indication that a threat was made by this individual. So yes, that parent and that child has been talked with, yes. But we, in all of this, as far as the threat is concerned, we even had Homeland Security who came and looked at this under the law of Homeland Security, and because apparently at this time there was not a threat, it was not considered under the terrorist threat sort of a profile.
I have a question about the two kids. Well, I grew up here, I went to Whitesburg, and I know that all our kids go there because we live in that area. But I know there are kids that get what they call bussed in from other areas, and I never have quite understood why they get bused to our schools. Is it because they're having problems in other schools? And if that's, if they're a problem in that school, are we just shifting them over here? Is that what's going on? Because I heard the two kids that got in trouble were two kids that were bussed in from another district or something. So I don't know.
Busing is an interesting thing. There are kids who are bussed in, there are kids who are bussed out.
I
So,
understand that, but I'm wondering, is it all problem children or not? I don't
No, we don't transfer you because we have a label of a problem child. We have requests for transfers under the rule that says you can transfer. So we have kids coming and going on buses north and south. We have kids who come from, say, Whitesburg, and they may go to AAA or somewhere for the magnet program. So we have busing, as we say, that goes on all across the district under different rules and regulations that apply to that person's request and the reason why. So there are ways that we grant it, but we don't do it under a rule that says problem kids will be transferred to another school. Nor do we have it that a problem kid will be transferred back to another school. We look at it this way: once you are enrolled in a school, wherever you come from, then at that moment you are a member of that particular school, once you are granted a transfer.
Once the weapon was found, we locked the school down. We conducted an investigation to make sure there was no other weapons to be found and nobody else involved. We got all the people involved and we dealt with it. We've been doing this for 15 years within the school system. The Huntsville Police Department has, working with the administrations and school security to see to it that your kids are safe. We're around your kids more than you are, if you think about it. Well, you sleep at night. Okay, your kids are our kids. I don't want anything to happen to your kids. Nobody does. We're going to make sure that your kids are safe at your school. This gentleman over here had a question about a police officer at the school full time. That's being looked into. I'll give you my word on that. The school's almost over. Got 3 months of it left, and then the next school year we'll see what we can do. Okay, we're looking into that also. The security plan, a lot of your questions, I think the security plan for the school needs to be re-looked at. Look, what I mean is not any good. I'm not saying that. But just bring it together, put some more ideas to make it where everybody understands it better. Because I believe that your educators in that building, if you go to a lockdown, they should know what's going on at all times. I believe the students should know what's going on at all times. And the parents should know what's going on at all times. So we're working on that. So you have to give us some time here. Okay? Trust me, this is all being dealt with. I'll give you my word on it. I don't even work at Whitesburg Middle School, but I've been down there going over this stuff, trying to see to it that we can do something to make sure that everybody is on top of everything. And I truly think they are. You've seen it, it's up here today. It's up here, everything that went down, so how it went down. There's a criminal investigation involved. Okay, we can't tell you about these students. We can't tell you about the person that owned the gun. If we do, we interfere with that in the courtroom. Then I'm going to be standing there in front of the judge explaining myself. Okay, and I don't want to do that. Okay? Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
And I thank you, Mr. Woodcock.
What's the time?